you can have healthy long locks as a semi-free-former with thinner locks. Just have to prioritize. Oh my god, you guys like my little buns? My little buns. Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. We're going to get right into the video. Oh, before we do that though, I need to introduce you to myself. I am a lock head of almost 5 years. Just to give you a little bit of facts about me. I DIY started my locks. I did not go to a loctician. Actually, I started my locks with the help of my mother, and I am a semi-free former. I only retighten 3 to 4 times a year. And yeah, I am very much into lock care. Not so much styling, but more so lock care. So a lot of the lock videos on my channel revolve around DIY lock maintenance. So if you're interested in any of that, check out my Me and My Locks playlist right here. And yeah, I'm also a licensed mental health therapist, so I talk about mental health as well. And I have a weight loss journey that I'm documenting here on the channel called Monday Motivation, where I just basically give you guys insight into my weight loss journey from more of a wellness perspective. I know there's a lot of content on YouTube about diet tips and exercises and things of that nature, and I will put out content for like that too, but mine is more so on the external factors that could positively or negatively impact your journey, and I'm just giving you guys some transparency about that. But yeah, we're not talking about that in this video. We're talking about locks, okay? And the reason for this video, honestly, is because I had a viewer to comment and ask a question about what has been my experience as a semi-free former who only retightens a few times a year, being that I have thinner locks. Now, I know I'm highly aware of the fact that, based on, your perspective of what thin locks are, some people don't see my locks as thin. To give you some perspective on the size of my locks are, majority of my locks, because I have combined a lot, but the majority of my locks are a little bit smaller than the size of a number 2 pencil, okay? So that is the size of my locks. So I would consider those on the relatively thin side. Doesn't mean they're the thinnest in the world, but they're thin. For a lot of people who are looking into semi-free forming, I feel like a lot of people are wary about semi-free forming because they have heard that if you let your hair go without retightening for too long, then your hair has a chance to break off. And I mean, your hair can break off for a lot of different reasons if you don't take care of it like you're supposed to. But if you know your hair and you know your hair type and you just know bare basic things that you probably should or should not be doing, then you should be okay. And I'm just going to share with you guys the simple things I've been doing to maintain my growth and to continue to grow my hair out. My hair is a little bit past bra strap length. I guess some would consider it mid-back length. And I'm almost 5 years. I'll be 5 years in March. I have never ever gone to a loctician. I've always done my own hair. Only 2 people have been in my head, my mother and my husband. And for the most part, 99% of the time, I take care of my own hair. So, but I do know that even when you're loose natural, it can be hard to grow your hair out if you have certain textures. It's not that we can't grow our hair out regardless if we're loose or locked. It's just that it's a little bit harder because we have things kind of stacked up against us. Like, I'm a 4C lock head, so I know the main thing I'm going to struggle with is moisture. I have a very hard time with trying to find a staple moisture routine, and I mentioned that in my last lock video that that's something that I'm still looking for. I do not use conditioner, okay? I don't use conditioner. So a lot of people say, well, maybe your hair is dry because you're not using conditioner. And I'm like, I just choose not to do that because I look at it this way. I would rather try to have a tiny bit harder time looking for things to moisturize my hair that are not conducive to buildup than to use conditioner and have to worry about buildup. Like, no, like I can't deal with that. The first thing that has helped me to grow my hair out as a semi-free former who only retightens 3 to 4 times a year, and being that I have thinner locks, is I pay close attention to my roots and my new growth. I cannot stress this enough. I mean, like all the other lock information online, you can take this with a grain of salt, take what you need and throw the rest away. But I don't really do a lot of manipulation to my locks, and I do not do a lot of manipulation to my roots, and I just don't personally believe that you have to manipulate your locks for them to look nice. Because I mentioned in a previous video where I talked about how you can grow your locks out and how to fix root issues. This part, I'll just use this front lock because it's the most accessible. This part, I have about maybe 1.5 inches of new growth. And this is where the new growth ends. And this is where the lock starts. So whenever you use heavy products, especially if you don't wash your hair like all the time, like a lot of times the product can build up right here. And that can add to the weight, especially if you put conditioner and stuff into the shaft. What I've noticed is that can add to the weight of the lock and put more pressure right here where the new growth meets the lock, and that can make your hair more prone to breakage. So I just don't mess with a lot of heavy products. I used to use Shea Moisture, the pink label and the yellow label, and I use them because I was loose natural and I didn't have to worry about like buildup, you know, collecting in my hair. But now that I am locked, I see that as something that can hurt my hair because it's so thick. It doesn't mean it's not a good product, it's just something that I choose not to use. So yeah, I watch out for lock buildup. I stay away from waxy or thick products that can weigh my locks down. I also am very conscious of how my scalp is doing. I utilize Do Grow because Do Grow, one, is relatively cheap. Two, I've been using Do Grow since I was a teenager. Since I was relaxed, I've been using Do Grow. Like, I love Do Grow. Like, it has never really done me wrong. Like, there's the orange and the green formula. I stick to the orange formula because I like the orange formula, but both formulas are good. I use that for my lock growth as well. And I oil my scalp with it, and I also do scalp massages. So I either do it with oil or without oil. I massage my scalp. That has helped me to get and maintain strong roots, which has helped me to minimize breakage with thin locks as a semi-freeformer. So I cannot stress this enough. When you have thinner locks and you are trying to grow your locks out and long, you have to, I don't want to say what you have to do, but it would be very good for you to pay attention and be conscious of how you're taking care of your roots. And you do that by low manipulation, stimulating your scalp for new growth, and minimizing chances for buildup. Those are the primary things that I do. Now also styling. Y'all see I got these little things in right here, but nothing holding these little puffs up outside of locks that I wrap around like this. But I don't do a lot of tight styling at all. Like the tightest, I guess if you can call it styling, which I don't call it styling, the tightest that my hair has been when I put my hair in the braids. If you watch the rose water braid out video, is when I put my braids in for my braid outs, I always stick my finger close to the roots to leave enough, at least like 3/4 or an inch of room, so that I'm not putting a lot of tension on my roots whenever I'm putting my braids in for my braid out. I am overprotective of my new growth and my roots because that's what makes up the locks as they grow out. I mean, if your roots are trash and if you're not taking care of your roots, then you're setting yourself up for failure when you're trying to grow your hair out, because that is literally what makes up the shaft as your locks grow out. You ever seen people with locks where the new growth is thinner and then the shaft or the body of the lock, as it gets longer, gets thicker? It's because that new growth is thinning out over time due to them probably retwisting too much or retightening. Even when I do my interlocking, like I said, I only do that 3 to 4 times a year. I do not interlock, or when I use the safety pin technique, I do not do it all the way to the scalp. I usually leave about at least this much, this much of like new growth showing whenever I do my interlocks, because I don't want no super tight thinning tail locks. I don't want that. As a thin locker, as a thin lock head, I guess, so to speak. Always leave some leeway, because that is encouraging the new growth to come in thick and strong, at least from my experience. That's how I've been able to maintain thin locks with thicker roots, by just leaving a little bit of leeway when I'm doing my retightening and styling. And also I concentrate on my moisture routine. So I am still on the hunt for a staple moisture routine, but I feel like the fact that I've been concentrating on my moisture and keeping that as a high priority within my regimen, that has been helpful in helping me to have a positive experience as a semi-free former with thin locks. So yeah, I know that was a mouthful, but yeah, that will probably sum up what I do and the things I've done to maintain my locks. I'll take these down. The last video I took out my braids. It's been about it's been about a week since I filmed that last video, and y'all can see I still have a tiny bit of body left, but it's basically virtually gone. But yeah, y'all see I have super thick roots. Super thick roots. I do not play around with my roots. Like, I don't play around with my roots, y'all. I do not. So, and I'll turn around to give you guys perspective. Yeah, I really pay close attention to my scalp and my roots. So that would probably be the #1 suggestion that I would have for people with thinner locks like myself, who happen to be semi-free forming. You can have healthy, long, and grow out long locks as a semi-free former with thinner locks. Just have to prioritize your root care. And that's it. Prioritize your root care and figure out ways to maximize or optimize your moisture routine, and you will be good to go. You know, you don't have to do a lot of styles either. Just find like a few styles that have low tension in the scalp area, and you'll be good to go. Yeah, I think that's probably about it. If you're interested in anything else regarding my locks, or you know, just taking care of locks that happen to be on the thinner side and you want more insight from me, leave a comment below. I will answer your question, okay? And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys who made it to this point in the video, and until the next lock video, bye bye.